What was one of the craziest foods you had in
Okay,
Norway?
I remember eating seal and whale sandwiches.
What was one of the craziest or most dangerous experiences you had?
Craziest or most dangerous experiences? Huh. Probably walking on the ice in the city of Mo i Rana for 6 months straight.
What was one of the most spiritual experiences you had, or times you felt the spirit the strongest?
The time I felt the spirit the strongest on my mission was certainly when I was teaching an investigator who was truly invested and applying what they had learned. And once they began testifying to me of the things that I had taught them, and the confirming spirit that comes to you from your investigator to you is one of the best feelings you could ever have as a missionary.
Um, any funny language mistake?
I was made aware of this one pretty early on, so don't make it. So the word for transport is shis with a hard sh sound, but the word for kiss is shis with a light sh sound. And so you do not want to say, hey, can I get a ride, by saying, hey, can I have a kiss?
What was one of the greatest life lessons you learned on your mission?
The greatest life lessons, I would say, would be determining what valuable goals are and setting a plan in order to achieve those goals.
What was one of the best or greatest skills you gained on your mission?
Yeah, I learned how to make and set and then achieve those goals, which has played such a role in my life post-mission. Going to school, going to work, having a social life, all of these things apply to goal setting.
Awesome. Craziest weather or most extreme weather?
Most extreme weather? Okay, I remember it was a Sunday morning and my companion and I were serving in Mo i Rana, a little teeny town in the north. And we got all bundled up because we noticed it was a huge snowstorm. And we walked outside and we were walking to church, and it felt like Hoth from Star Wars. If you've ever seen Star Wars, the planet Hoth, it's like a huge snowstorm, giant blizzard, wind blowing like crazy. And we got there to church and nobody showed up except for us.
How tall is the snow, do you know?
At that time, it was just beginning. And so it was about 2 or 3 feet by that time. But the snow got up to about, 6 or 7 feet. And so you're just walking down the street and you have piles of snow right by you and tunnels to get into someone's front yard. It was really fun.
Awesome. Yeah. What was one of the hardest things that you went through on your mission?
I recall it was my second transfer. So I was with this more inexperienced missionary and I was brand new. We had showed up in Mo i Rana again with a completely different dialect I was not used to. I was still trying to learn the language. My companion was such a good support to me through this time. And the day I arrived, the sun had gone down behind the mountain and wouldn't show up for another 3 months. And so those upcoming 3 months would be the hardest of my life because depression is real when you don't see the sun for that long. And so you really come to know yourself and what your limits are emotionally and spiritually and physically in order to function. And we got through that time. And I remember coming out of that darkness and seeing the sun again, tears streaming, and just being so happy, so happy. That was a remarkable time. And then on the flip side, once it became summer, it was bright and sunny all the time, and you were never depressed. Yeah. Other difficult things about that time, we lived in an attic, which we could feel the wind blow through our apartment, and so it was always about 40, 45 degrees Fahrenheit in our apartment. Our neighbor downstairs is really loud, always blasting music, probably from about 10:30 p.m. until 6:30 a.m. The mission schedule, of course. He smoked. We could smell the smoke all throughout the night. Ugh, that was awful. Yeah, that was a really hard time. But you really learn so much about yourself during those times and what your limits are, and realize, okay, I can handle a lot more than I thought I could.
Awesome. Best piece of mission prep advice you could give?
Ooh. I would say develop a pattern of self-discipline. And just in general, if you play piano, play the piano well. If you are in debate, debate well. Anything you do, try to be the most excellent at that thing than anyone else. And that will help you on a mission when it comes to goal setting and planning. It'll help you with the language. It'll help you with your relationship with your companion. It will help you with leadership opportunities. It will help you with connecting with other like-minded, driven people that you will meet and teach.
Best advice you could give for an RM who just got home from their mission?
Heaven help you. Best piece of advice for an RM? Really? Okay. Hold those patterns that you have established on that mission and don't give up, because it's so easy to let the mission lifestyle slip by. But you were on top of your game by the end of your mission. You had it figured out. And so when you come back, try to implement those patterns into your life as much as possible, but then also expand that. You generally set goals for how many new investigators you'll have and how many lessons you will teach throughout a week. When you're back at home, start setting goals for how many dates you're going to go on in a month, or how well you're going to do in classes, or how you're going to provide money for yourself, or what kind of Christ-like attributes do you want to develop in your everyday life. That has to be the best RM advice I could give.